Hi, this is Mama Brown, and I wanted to speak with you today about connecting with your children. Us as parents, I'm sure, had an idea before we had children what we wanted it to look like, what we wanted our children to feel, what kind of things we wanted to accomplish. And I'm sure as we see them grow, there are certain things that we want them to have under their belts before they go into the world by themselves. Have you made a plan in order to outline what that looks like, feels like, sounds like? Do your children know what that looks like, feels like, sounds like for them or for you? I made a plan in order to help me see the vision of what that might look like along with my children. I have a binder that I call Parenting with God, and I talk about positive interaction. I talk about growth mindset and mindset continuum. I talk about resilience. I talk about character and morale. I talk about the foundations and standards that I want them to have before leaving the house. And then I talk about what does that look like? How can they gain these things? And how can I gather and realize that they have gained these things? What's the evidence that they've gained these things? In doing this, I find that my interactions with my children have a lot more benefit and a lot more depth to them. Here are a couple of books that help. Say What You See, I really enjoy, and I'll talk about that in a moment. And Raising Spirited Children, I also have the workbook. This is the workbook that I have here. Our children are combinations of us, our spouse, or our significant other, and themselves. Our job is not to build them to who we want them to be, but to help them discover who it is that they are. And so, our connections with them help them to do that. How does your family identify love? How does your family identify all the other emotions? Are those emotions allowed to be talked about? How does your family resolve conflict? How do they communicate conflict? Is there set aside time for those things to be addressed? These are all questions that can really change the dynamic of your family and the dynamic of your parenting. So, what we'll start with today is just a few things that you can do to increase the connection between your children. 1, set aside, we call it special time. That time is undistracted time. No phones, no TVs. Set aside time for you and your child, one-on-one, to have them pick whatever it is they want, and it allows you to step into their world. Get down on the floor with them if they're a younger child, if they're a teenager and they are into some kind of game that you've never played before, or reading a particular book. These special times are opportunities for you to step into their world. As we step into their world, it gives them significance and belonging, and it fills their bucket. And as that fills their bucket and they feel like they belong and that there's significance, literally their behavior alters for the better. If it's not something that you guys typically do, set aside time. See if every day, a certain time of the day, at least once, you can set aside 10 minutes. It's great if it can be the same time every day so that your child can expect it and you can expect it. Let it be in your mind like an appointment that needs to be met. This places your child on the priority list for what they're interested in. Don't try to influence them if you want to do something else with them that they don't want to do. This is their special time. Let that time start at 10 minutes and ultimately increase to 20 minutes 2 times a day if possible. You're going to find especially if you have multiple children like myself, that special time is really cherished and they look forward to. It's something that they can say, oh, at this time, mommy and I are going to do da 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 da. And it's good to set a timer as well. For the younger children, I have a timer that has red that shows how much time is left. That allows for a child to see the time because they don't understand the concept of time. So if we say, I have 10 minutes in order to do something with you, let's have our special time. Sometimes we'll begin and 10 minutes later they say, oh, I didn't get 10 minutes, or that was so short. Also, you may find if you don't pump yourself up to be able to say at the beginning, we're having special time, and at the end, I really enjoyed my special time with you. Sometimes you as a parent won't get the credit. You ever have your child at the end of the day say, I didn't do anything fun with you today. And you say, wait a minute, we had special time and we did this and this and this. Being able to share with them at the beginning of special time that you're looking forward to it and you're excited about it, and at the end how much fun you had and that you're looking forward to the next time you get special time, gets you the win in their mind as well. So the first step I would say is special time set aside, and that really acknowledges them. The second thing is to acknowledge. You ever have your child repeat themselves over and over and over again? We all have. It's a part of their development. So if you find that your child is saying the same phrase over and over again, instead of being frustrated with them, acknowledge them. Oh, I see that truck. It is so big. Maybe they're hurt and they're a little over exaggeration is begging you for attention. They are looking for you to acknowledge how they're feeling. Oh, it looks like you hurt yourself. How are you feeling? Oh, it looks like you fell. Is it bleeding? Right? Those things helps them to know mommy is paying attention to me. I especially find the more children that I add into the mix, it's important for them to know, though I may be looking at one child or reading to one child or nursing one child, that I still see them all. And so while I'm nursing Naomi, I may be saying, oh, Malachi, that's an awesome so-and-so you're building. Elijah, what are you over there doing? Right? Also, because of the special time that I've already set up for them, they know, though I'm nursing Naomi and she's going to be with me for 10 minutes while we sing and talk while she's nursing, that they're not forgotten about, and I'm looking forward to having special time with them too. The acknowledging how they feel or what they're doing or what they're going through or what they're saying validates them. Don't we all want to be heard? Children want to be heard too. Can you imagine being a child? Everybody else in the house is so much bigger than you, knows so much more than you, talks so much more than you. A child is looking to get any words in that they can and make sure that the big people know that they're there. So getting on their level through special time and acknowledging what is going on with them or what they're saying through conversation gives them a significance and belonging in their bucket. It also increases their positive power. Children need to feel like they have power over something, because the reality is their parents have power over most things. This is why we have power struggles with children concerning sleeping and eating. Sometimes even with bathroom breaks and potty training, because those are the things that they control, right? So if we say, eat this, they have the option to say, no. If we say, go to sleep, they have the option to say, no. But if we've provided them positive power throughout the day by validating and acknowledging, by providing them special time and giving them choices, by the time it's time for them to do something that they may not necessarily necessarily want to do, or they have the opportunity to make a struggle, they won't. So instead of it's time to go to sleep now, it's guys, let's pick our books. Each person get a book. I'll meet you guys in the bed. And so after we read our books, we'll snuggle and pray and go to bed together. That way, they know that bed isn't an option, but they have the option of their books. They have the option of their pajamas, right? And they're looking forward to racing to bed because they want to stay with mommy in order to read their book. It's cool when the children are a little bit older and they choose to read books that are continuations. Right now, we're reading Cold Case Christianity specifically during bedtime. That way, it's like, oh, we're on chapter 4, and they can recount what happened chapter 2, chapter 3, in order to add to chapter 4. The third thing we can do to increase our connection with our children is to watch our words. Not only our words, but our face. Can we keep a calm face? And can we use our words to not only share the things that we would like to see differently, but to also talk about and highlight the things that we really appreciate? Oh, that's so awesome, Malachi, how you helped Naomi do that. Oh, Elijah, I see how you worked so hard on that. You really stuck to that. As I talk to them about all the positive things that I see in them, it gives them attention in their bucket. It gives them a little boost, and it makes them want to do those same things again rather than feeling ignored, right? Sometimes we hear the phrase, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. Well, other children will become squeaky wheels in order to get the oil. With having an 18-month-old, of course, she cries. And so when she cries, mommy needs to check. Is she hungry? Is she thirsty? Is something itching? Things like that, right? Well, as soon as another child comes along, you see the older child start to revert back to little tendencies that he was past or she was past. And it's because the squeaky wheel gets the oil. I want them to feel like they can get the oil regardless of if their wheel is squeaking or not. That they get that attention, that they know that they're significant and that they belong regardless of if they are crying or whining or things of that nature. So whining, tantrums, things like that don't end up going on a lot in our home because that attention is provided positively. While watching my words, I make sure not to compare and compete children. Smarter, better, faster, stronger, good eater. Because if there's a good eater, what's the opposite? Bad eater. So if you comment to one child, you did so good eating all your food. Now the other child might say, I'm bad because I didn't eat my food. It's not that your child is bad. Maybe they're full. Maybe they don't like that food. Maybe they want to go and play and they're not ready to eat yet. That doesn't mean they're a bad eater. So choosing our words helps our children not to compare and compete either. Because if I say, that's the smart one, that's the athletic one, that's the tall one, that's the... While I'm doing that, it has the other child think about what label they are. It also has the child that we give the label to have to rise up to that label. Here's what I mean. The child that is known as the smart child may challenge themselves less so that they can remain the smart child. So instead of smart, right, because all of my children are intelligent and all of your children are intelligent. It's just a matter of where their skills are and where their intellect is. All of us are intelligent. So what's their genius? And you really speak to the things that you see. Saying what you see is a great way to connect and build stronger connections. And so this book is very short, it's a very easy read, and there's a lot of different parenting programs that have a bunch of different steps and a bunch of different tools to put in a toolkit, and they're good. This, though, provides a simple way of saying, how can I make sure my child feels loved, that they are nurtured and disciplined, that they feel significant, that they belong, that they feel that positive power. Saying what you see can help you do that. I hope this video has been helpful in order to have you connect in a stronger way with your children. If you like the video, please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.